It rained and poured. Floods are never fun and the lack of football left us wanting, but today the sun has been shining, the birds have been chirping, and there's a distinct bounce in the atmosphere. Welcome to Laybutt Sporting Complex, the home of the workers who face the strikers of Ropes Crossing. This is the Blacktown Men's Premier League match of the round. My name is Mark DePoli. Thank you for tuning in. The home side are such an interesting unit. The reigning reserve grade champions have a unique way of doing things, not afraid to spread their talent around the feeder 21s and reserve grade comps, making their brightest sparks eligible in knockout football later in the season. As you would have heard on the Blacktown Premier League podcast, workers are hopefuls for a finals finish. The only problem is that there are a number of teams with that same belief. Workers play aesthetic football, everyone knows that, but they're not afraid to occasionally let their quick players burn some turf or let their tallest leap highest from a set piece. One of those teams with that belief is Ropes Crossing. Having welcomed coach Tony Muscat in round 3 of last year, 2024 has allowed him a full pre-season. We're still yet to see what Ropes are fully capable of in a match of the round scenario, though. Golden Boot winner Ahmed Badat has somehow never scored on camera despite tearing apart the competition's best every other week. The only time we've seen Tony ball was during an unexpected 3-1 loss to Prospect. There's so much to learn going into tonight's game. Funnily enough, that game, when they lost to Prospect, was played alongside a crucial Sydney derby in the A-League Men's. Tonight is also no different. The opening act to the biggest football match in the nation is going to be a hotly contested one that yielded a frankly ridiculous 4-all draw earlier last season. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and let's have a look at how both of these teams line up. We'll begin with the home side. In goal starts Ben Dow-Keith, who actually played as a striker in the reserve grade match of the round 1 match against Ponds, where that reserve grade team drew 1-all there as they began their championship defence. From left to right in the back four, for the first time we welcome Will Gaffer to the squad, who's actually a junior of Blacktown Workers back, this now being his 5th year at the club. Ian De Castro, of course, an all-star in 2 years ago, starts alongside, and this is a shock, Shane Prasad, a man who last time in a match of the round game scored a poker. That's 4 goals in one game up against Riverston. Of course, former Ponds man Chris Dow-Keith is at right back in the number 5 jersey. At the base of the midfield, of course, it's Danny McDougall, who has really established himself as one of the competition's front-running midfielders. Ahead of him is, of course, Brendan Bazina, who was the Player of the Year in 2022, alongside Lachlan Precious, who always has a cheeky assist in his locker, or should I say boots, in a match of the round game. The front three looks like this. Former centre-back and now left-winger Blake Ford starts in the 18 jersey. Off to the right, of course, is Chris Wicks, who has scored 30 goals in his last 2 seasons. And through the middle, back in his home colours of black and white, he's already got a goal in the Australia Cup against Fraser Park. We believe that the striker is going to be Tom Guthrie in the 8. Jordan Davidson starts in goal for Ropes Crossing. It's a back four. We'll go right to left this time for Mackenzie Chavinda, who's always usually debutised as a centre-back. Now he's off to the right, and his 6'4" frame will be one that's going to be very helpful, I'm sure, from set pieces. In the middle is Alfredo Lira, the 23-year-old in his first year at the club, having come from Liverpool Olympic in the off-season. He's actually normally a winger, but has spent all of pre-season through the middle of the defence. He's next to Blake Fufus, who featured on our podcast at the start at the end of this week, I should say. And at the left, it's Jordan Camilleri, who's the youngest in the squad, alongside Marcus Field, who is the right wing, so from left back to right wing, 19-year-old, alongside Jordan, the 20-year-old. And speaking of the Fields, James Field, who's the older cousin of Marcus, starts wearing the number 10 jersey, but is playing a more deeper midfield role. Christian Kuzmanovsky makes his first appearance in the match of the round, having joined and alongside his brother earlier in the pre-season. He wears the number 6 jersey. Off to the left, it's the only man who's scored a match of the round goal in the starting 11 for Ropes. It's Timothy Hilton in the 13. Through the middle is former Polonia, and then he moved to Minchinbury midfielder Johnny Haynes, who Blake Morris, his former coach, described as the best player he'd seen play in Blacktown. And through the middle, Mr. 18 goals last season, Mr. 2 goals in the first game against the champions, Ahmed Badat. Let's see if he gets his first ever match of the round goal tonight. That's how the two teams line up. I think this is going to be a really hotly contested one. Will be refereed by Jim Azar. And I think workers at home are going to provide a really tough test for this time the finals hopefuls Ropes. They came so close last time, but the early season poor bit of form hindered them, I would say, and they just dropped out of that race with a couple of games to go when it became mathematically impossible for them to achieve it. But they were so impressive, especially against big teams. They can take them by surprise. They've also just had a really gutsy win in reserve grade as well. They went up 3-0. It ended up being a 3-2 victory over the reigning reserve grade champions, Workers. So another very impressive showing there. And we'll see how some of those players, perhaps off the back of a really gutsy win, can actually impact the first grade game off the bench as well. Just waiting for the two teams to make their way out onto the pitch. Right now, it's a picturesque looking field here at Harold Laybutt. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. Do remember to leave a like, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, so that we know that you enjoy what you're hearing on our channels. As mentioned in my long preamble, the last time that we came here, besides a Women's Premier League knockout football grand final qualifying match, but last time we were here for the men's competition was when Riverston suffered the worst defeat, or perhaps I should say Workers produced the best, most emphatic victory in the history of the match of the round games, winning 12-0, both Chris Wicks and Shane Prasad, right winger and today centre back, played in that game, scoring 8 goals between them, 4 each, although Shane Prasad won't let Chris Wicks forget that he actually had his notched up quicker than the wide man did. Here come the two teams now. Workers in their familiar predominant black tinges of white, ropes donning their fantastic jersey, white, stripes of black, and a touch of yellow as well. Blake Furfus, the captain, Jordan Davidson following on behind him, Jordan Camilleri, Mackenzie Chavinda you can see as well, Lero there too, Hilton, the Fields. It's a fantastic team. It's actually gotten better, I'd say, since last year. And the squad depth clearly is quite strong too, considering that they just had a win over the champions in reserve grade coming into this. So they're in good spirits, our Ropes are visiting here. Can the Workers boys produce something good in retaliation for dropping some club championship points? Lachlan Precious comes to the sideline here to spit out his chewing gum and now goes and joins the huddle. Looks like Tom Guthrie is actually the captain in the number 8 jersey, so he is the one doing the coin toss there as he stands in an identical position and posed to Blake Fufus. So I think we'll stay as we are as the two teams say their final words before they go out to battle. Welcome back to Premier League football. It's an exciting time as the season really starts to produce and reveal who the competition's favourites for top spot might be, who are those who might be struggling more than we expected, who are those who might produce a surprise package tagline to go along with their name. 3 minutes past 6. Timely manner that we always stick exactly to here in Blacktown. One great thing about this wonderful complex is the fact that because of the tin roof where all the fans sit under, the noise that you'll hear is quite loud. Almost sounds booming at times. So Workers will kick us off. Running left to right, Ropes the visitors running right to left. A reminder, my name is Mark DePoli. Thank you so much for joining us. And Tom Guthrie will have his first kick in Workers' colours since the match of the rounds began. Back at his club before he took a little stint at Ponds, searching for a championship, as will this first grade team. This is bound to be a fun one. Away we go. Danny Mack gets the first touch. He's got some of the best technique on the ball and from dead ball situations in the comp as Ahmed Badat finds he is backed into there by the 25-year-old Danny Mack, who's probably a contender for All-Stars if he keeps up his good form, especially if he can do it on camera as well. Such a talented player. Shane Prasad gets his first touch through the spine of the backline. He's played as a striker, he's played as a winger, he's played as a central midfielder when Marion turned them over. Chris Dalkeith hasn't made himself available and actually really affected the way Shane Prasad wanted to play out there, and he's asking his right back a couple of questions. I'm sure that won't happen too many more times. Chris Dalkeith, do your shoelaces, son. 2018 Champion of Champions winner with Doonside is Chris Dalkeith, such a strong player. Lovely turn there by Christian Kuzmanovsky, the PNFC man. Dalkeith didn't quite get it past field. Couple of slips there as Hilton centres it here to Christian Kuzmanovsky. He's got a lot of time here. He'll try to dink over the top. Chavinder's running through. Spilt initially by Ben Dalkeith, the younger of the two Dalkeith boys, and it's been cleared away a bit more comprehensively there by, I believe, Ford. Picked up here as Ropes continue to do the high pressing. It's a first involvement here for Jordan Camilleri, who was only making his second match of the round appearance. Johnny Haynes making his second match of the round appearance, but in different colours this time as Haynes picks it up. Really nice looking ball, and it's been allowed to bounce once, twice, and it's cleared. First touch as a 9, wearing 8 for Tom Guthrie, and away pushes Blake Ford. Back here to Guthrie, who scored 2 free kicks in one game against Quakers Hill Juniors last year. Gives away a free kick. Speaking of them in that moment there, though. Fraser Park knows his goal-scoring abilities. Quakers Juniors know his goal-scoring abilities. He almost scored a free kick from about 45 yards out in the last time he was on camera, which was a grand final, no less. Just went over the top of Dean Kenny Rogers' goal that day. So Fufus will take this free kick. Left-footed delivery with such nice technique, not the direction on it that he wanted, I imagine. Timothy Hilton, who, like I said, has the only match of the round goal of any of the Ropes players out there. That's in stark contrast to the likes of Workers, who have so many goal scorers across the pitch, especially since that Riverstone game helped them pump those numbers way, way up. Last time, of course, we saw Workers on a match of the round game was in a semi-final, or I should say quarter-final, technically, that they lost on penalties. They went down to Eastern Creek, who eventually went down to Ponds, who eventually went down to the champions, Mario. Have they learnt their penalty lessons today? Well, they had one that was initially saved, and they scored the follow-up in the reserve grade game. Here's Danny McDougall, who always seems to have more time than everybody else on the ball. Chris Wicks is not quite sitting on the last line just yet. He's got to contest with Jordan Camilleri, which I think will be a great matchup. There is a 2022 Player of the Year in Bazina, but he's given it away. Prasad, who was actually scouted by, as a free kick goes in just on the edge of the box. My word, that is close. He was actually playing an overseas match. I think it was an unofficial match, Shane Prasad, in the off-season. Someone somehow saw him playing there as a centre-back, saw that he was playing rather quite proficiently, and now he's been dropped all the way back there. Yeah, he says he can play it. He also wants me to find him a cool nickname, he said to me in the pre-game, so we'll see if he can produce a moment where we might be able to liken it to a professional player in years gone by. If he was still a tricky winger that could beat players, I would call him Prasadinho, but he's playing as a centre-back today, so we'll come up with something better. Field takes it straight into the head there of Chris Dalkeith, who's walked it off. Somehow walked it off. His cranium is made of steel, as we've lost a Premier League ball, that's for sure. That's never going to come back, that one. Well, the first couple of opportunities going the way of the visitors, who are continuing on their good momentum from the last time these two met. The last time these two met was, in fact, a 3-1 win for Ropes, who are really cementing themselves as great finishers to the season. Shane Prasad, interestingly, will take the goal kick as well. And he sends that away. That's a huge punt as Fufus wins the header. Timothy Hilton closing in on Dalkeith there. Pretty monstrous throw. Of course, you can't be offside. Here's the matchup we've been wanting to see all day. Wicks on Camilleri, who slides in really, really well. And the 19-year-old has just won the first battle. But what about the war? I believe that's actually going to be a throw, which is why Dalkeith is the one taking it. It's not quite a corner, although the setup might have looked like it. Dalkeith with another long throw in. It's been cleared initially. Johnny Haynes picks up such a proficient indoor footballer he is as well. He actually suffered a terrible injury to his knee, which is why he was playing at Minchinbury a couple of seasons ago, because he wanted to just recoup and perhaps get a little bit of confidence back and that he could play top flight football. Well, he certainly has. He scored an absolute bomb against Riverstone to basically be the most unlucky man to have ever not won a goal of the week competition. He scored an absolute bomb that day. So he's capable. He's very, very capable. This might be Guthrie's chance to swing one towards goal. In fact, oh my word, it's come close. It's just brought the crowd into the game as well. The first moment in familiar colours for Tom Guthrie. And you can hear the support that he has. He's encouraged to take those kind of opportunities on. And he's got the ability to hit it. Tom Guthrie, such an interesting story he's got. He was suffering really terribly from back problems in the last couple of years and completely switched the way he does his workouts. He went to more of a calisthenics approach, which is body weight exercises, and it completely fixed him up. And I think the fact that we've got him back at his physical best, and I would assume happy best off the back of that, a painless one, it's fantastic. We'll see if he can notch up a goal today. And now Ropes come forward so quickly. Mackenzie Chivinda slightly hurting Blake forward there in the challenge. Haven't really seen too much of new signing Will Gaffer on the ball since his return from Hawkesbury City in the NPL world. Back in his junior club after so many years, isn't it amazing? The return after almost 2 decades. Could be space for Ahmed Badat, blocked and cleared there by Chris John Wicks. Fufi runs forward now. Nice idea, but misdirected. Shane Prasad's got to be careful. He's lucky he's got a bit to come for it. And for some reason, Benny took a little second to think about it. Just wanted to make John Haynes work a little bit harder and try and win that. It's quite teasing. It's good to see that Benny Dalkeith, speaking of him, is injury-free today. He had to go off in the first grade game in the first round. And Ronak Ram was granted the opportunity to make a unexpected but welcome first grade debut. Picked up there by Lachlan Precious. Dalkeith finds he didn't have the wiggle room to get out of that. Kuzmanovski's been one of the most brilliant players to watch so far. That's clipped forward by Field, who's looking for his cousin Marcus. And it's really well won there by Gaffer, who also was smart enough to kick it farther enough away that Ropes couldn't launch anything quickly. Of course, Ropes Crossing missing some players that were stars of last year. Mitchell Stead, who featured on the podcast, has taken up and following proudly a career in sports and particularly football photography. Of course, you can go and support him on Mitch Stead Photo on Instagram, all one word. Stead spelled S-T-E-A-D. They're also missing, alongside Stead, a couple of players who are more sort of fringe first graders who have left the club as well, which is interesting. But the squad seems to be probably the strongest I've seen in a long time. Don't forget, just 2 years ago, as we lose another ball here today, it's rather unfortunate for the Workers boys, who are probably going to have to pay for a couple of new balls after this match is finished. At this rate, they'll be asking for 2 bags instead of just 1. But yes, don't forget that Ropes Crossing just 2 years ago, around the COVID time, cancelled season, were a team that were competing to not be relegated, and now they are so far from that reality that it's almost easy to forget how far they've come. They haven't always been established like they are now. So we have a ball. That might be the last one. If we lose this one, we'll have to cancel the game, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be another throw-in for Workers, who have started to find themselves having a bit of territorial advantage, especially down this right-hand side. Timothy Hilton having to do a lot of defending himself. Another big throw-in, that's a good-looking one. That came off the hand of someone in Workers' colours, I do believe, so play will continue on. Good ball in, that one too, was flicked towards goal, and then Precious was just wide off of his weaker foot. Workers coming the closer of the two teams in the last 10 minutes. Well, the opening 10 minutes. Speaking of absentees, by the way, Workers are without James Appiah, who's today, I believe, to be injured. As well, they are missing Dejan Kupreshanin, their old co-captain, who's had to have surgery on his knee. So we wish him a speedy recovery. long throw in taken. That's another good-looking ball. It's causing Ropes a couple of problems here and there, but they've dealt with it just about. Really nicely won there by Ian DeCastro, who is absolutely fearless in every challenge he goes into. Camilleri. There's Hilton. Dalkeith leaves one in on him, gives away a free kick. It's been a very nicely contested game so far. The reserve grade game had plenty of tensions throughout. Turn, twist, and going backwards was Pizzina. It's then hit him in the back after DeCastro tried to take out his own man. A double agent, the All-Star. Re-established himself as a first-grade player, did Ian DeCastro, after spending some time in reserve grade for one reason or another. Interesting to see how the defensive midfielder in Kuzmanovsky drops in to create a sort of back three when Ropes have possession like this. Look at the way that they're just so fluid in their approach here. This is why formations are becoming less of a thing that a rigid sort of system and more of a temporary pre-match readout, if anything. Slide in there by DeCastro. Johnny Haynes comes away with it. Left-footed ball here to find Badat, I do believe, and then Field looked to launch one. He looked to then find Chavinda. He gave it away. Chavinda's got a barrel back, but Guthrie was unsupported by his Workers boys, and Ropes, this little string of possession is looking very healthy as Workers have got a lot of men behind the ball, and especially a lot of men in very deep positions as well. If you want to talk about formations, right now it looks like about an 8-2. Clipped forward by Field, looking for the younger version of himself. Marcus couldn't get there first though. This is nice by Workers to come away with it. Johnny Haynes pressing in nice and hard. Picked up here by Camilleri from distance bounces once, twice, and then just about picked up there by Benny Dalkeith. Played short to Shane Prasad, who hasn't looked out of place at all at centre-back. I would say when we saw him play at centre-mid, which was a thing he wasn't quite prepared for on the day, he probably struggled a little bit against Marion of all teams. Not an easy team to learn how to play and look over both shoulders. But right now at centre-back, he's looked really strong. Nice turn there by the 2022 Player of the Year. Looks to find the 2018 Champion of Champions right-back winner. He was smacked into there by Camilleri as the two fullbacks giving us a great contest down this near side. We'll be ashamed to see them in the second half go the other end. And for the first time this year, we have the pleasure, or perhaps the displeasure of saying, my word, is it a cold one out here tonight? It's only going to get colder as each passing match of the round happens. Bit of a delay, but now Dalkeith finally takes it. Eventually, surely, one will warrant in a goal. No, that one goes well over. Wow. So, from around the grounds, Ponds have lost 2-1 to Quakers Hill Tigers. That is absolutely mammoth news out of Patterson Reserve. Absolutely massive news coming out of Patterson Reserve. That is a very telling victory in the Hubbard Derby. I will alert you of any other results as I learn about them, but that is probably the result of the round. That's a serious, serious result. That will certainly capture the headlines as Workers playing very dangerously right now. Barreled into challenge. Well done by Kuzmanovsky. It was clearly, oh my word, what a ball that is. Tom Guthrie tries to find Wicks, but even the speedster wasn't going to get there first. So, Tigers mean business. I'll let that simmer for a little bit. Look at how deep Ahmed Badat has dropped. My word, he's almost playing like a 6. Prasad, who's quite nippy as well, will find he gets there first. Hilton doing the closing down, cleared by the left-footed Benny Dalkeith. One there by Ian De Castro. Jamesfield picks it up. Kuzmanovski's idea of a clip-through pass was a good one, but not executed properly. Dalkeith sends it away. Fufus missed it completely. Camilleri aiding his captain, though. Mackenzie Chavinda should win every single aerial contest. Up against Blake Ford there. He sends it out across the cricket pitch, though. And so it will be a throw-in. Taken by Chavinda. That was a slightly awkward throw. I think that's Kuzmanovski now. He has another send in behind for Field. It's a good ball in, and it was claimed well by Dalkeith, who has that sort of collapsing technique on the ball. Missed by everyone, including Lira there in his match of the round debut. Picked up here by Fufus, who's given it away. Alfredo Lira picks that up too. Again, 2 good contributions there. Badat turns. Perhaps doing a little bit too much there. Prasad takes it off of Ian De Castro. It's a very, very quick back line. And now it's Workers' turn for a string of possession. Wicks is the one now dropping in deep to receive. Here is Danny McDougall. It's the battle of the 2 deep-lying midfielders in McDougall and Kuzmanovski today. De Castro was brave, but in the end it actually pulled a defender out of line so he could play that ball there. And now Ford finds his offside for the first time in the game. We have an offside called. We're yet to see either keeper really brought into action with a handy save where they get to show what they're truly capable of. It's been more cross-claiming and long shot stopping. Either of these 2 sides yet to really force anything out of the opposition's number 1. Given away there by Camilleri. But in the end, it's actually going to be a really good pass to Johnny Haynes. Tries to send back in, but Dalkeith was alert to it. Brendan Bazina now with Field closing him down. Marcus Field, that is. Lachlan Pressure's not the kind of player to send one in behind for him to chase, so he just left that to save his energy. Here's Alfredo Lira. Christian Kuzmanovski. Back to the diminutive midfielder who's been very impressive so far. On cue, though, gives it away. Gets it back, though. Fufus. Hilton now. Offside. Juni have also beaten Ruvo, but it was by a margin of 1-0 as more results come in from around the grounds. In fact, I actually think that Tigers' win might have been at Ponds as well, not at Patterson. So that makes it even more impressive. Quick touch out of his feet and a pass by Danny Mack. And then he sends it in behind. Blake Ford versus Chavinda. Well done there by Blake Ford, who has played in so many positions across the years. He's been such a great servant in match of the round games. He's scored penalties. He's scored banging free kicks. He's made great blocks as a defender. He's such a versatile player. And a great lad too. McDougall in behind for Dalkeith. And look, there's an option at the back stick. This should be 1-0. It is! Speak of the devil. It's Blake Ford at the back post. Uncontested, smacked it in. Really lovely work from Workers who combined so well there. It wasn't Wicks running in behind up the right flank. It was Chris Dalkeith who just had to square it, and he did so perfectly. and the finish was a barreler into the back of the net. And just as we were talking about needing an opportunity to really see this game open up, Ropes fall on their sword a little bit. They had possession. They allowed Workers to build something. And then the brilliance of Chris Dalkeith with that run. My word, how good was it? 1-0 it is. The Lake forward. We should also talk about the pass from Danny Mack. Of course, we've just spoken about him throughout the game as to what a great deep-lying midfielder he is. That pass there is not one that you'll register on a regular stat sheet, but we should give him the cherries he deserves. That was a wonderful pass to find Dalkeith. Here he is involved again. Precious 1-2. And Workers now have the ascendancy and have the ball. There is the assist provider, Chris Dalkeith. It was like clockwork, that goal. That was really lovely to watch. Darren Graham's side will be so pleased to watch that back. They've got this footage and they've got a VO that I'm trying to stay out of the vision of to my right to watch it back from all sorts of angles as Jordan Davidson sends that to Blacktown Football Park. Hearing as well out of the Dooney camp that Ethan Eichen hit all 3 posts. That includes the crossbar. So they've given him something of a hat-trick ball to take home. So 1-0 to Dooney over Rivo. 2-1 to Tigers over Ponds. And right now, right here, it's 1-0 to Workers over Ropes. Ropes are staring down the barrel right now of 2 defeats to start the season. Of course, they're yet to play at home, which is something of a hindrance for them. Unlucky by the fact that the game at Blacktown Football Park in round 1 was considered a home game for them. It was Mariong's away game. So they lose 1 game at Ropes Crossing Reserve. Sent away by Davidson. 1 there by Wicks. As Workers start to put pressure on their opposition. I'm so impressed with the goal that they scored. They should be really, really delighted with the manner in which they've taken the lead. Lira. Picked up there by Bazina. There's a chance to counter here. Wicks is now the one running in behind, and Bazina could not find him. Lovely work there by Jordan Camilleri. Tried too much, though, and Bazina wants a second chance to find Wicks. He will send him in behind. Foo Fighters is there, and he does really well to get around Wicks there. Back here to Fufus. Alfredo Lira clipped him behind, clipped into the path there of Marcus Field. One field to another. Little touch off the ball there, wasn't enough to warrant a free kick. And here comes Dalkeith again. Good work there by Guthrie involved. There's a man free at the back post again, and it's you-know-who. Can he be found here by Ian De Castro? Sort of out of position for him. Dalkeith whips it back across, and Mackenzie Javinda, the former Hawkesbury City man, was there. Though, and it will be again. Danny Mack has time to deliver. It's not his greatest ball, and Jordan Davidson did well, the 22-year-old shot stopper. Goes for the quick release throw. Badat drops in to receive, not really willing to run in behind, which might have been the better option there. Mackenzie Javinda will give that job a go. Back it all the way it goes to Benny Dalkeith. Prasad. So we're trying to think of a nickname as well for Shane Prasad. I don't think Virgil Van Shane works either. If you've got any ideas, I'll check the comments at halftime on both YouTube and Facebook, as Wicks has sent him behind here. He runs through the half-court markings. It's found the goal scorer. Great touch out of the air. Tom Guthrie now finds some space on the D. Lachlan Precious will whip one from distance. He couldn't really get much behind that. Camilleri, who joins a growing list of really prominent, quick, brave left fullbacks who are left-footed in the league. A couple of them in the PL1 system who have been really great to watch. He's going to run forward. He's going to be found here by Fufus as well. Has he got the pace to get there? Because Prasad's just sent it away, and there we go. I think we've now run out of balls officially. That's been sent to right where I think I parked my car. Thanks, Shane. Oh, we found a ball. Going taken. Ahmed Badat just inside the box. Had to be careful now with that challenge. Dalkeith didn't get there first because instead it was Gaffer who did. Long throw taken. Big header won there by Wicks. Camilleri delivers. Cleared away. No workers players in that middle section of the half. Too long on the ball there, Marcus Field. And now this is a real opportunity, but Jordan Davidson will have to claim this and does rather easily. That was a very poor use of what was a great opportunity to burst forward on the counter for workers, and they might find themselves kicking themselves if they look back at it. It's into behind again. That's a lovely, lovely pass. Chavinda, what's his delivery like? Not great. Cleared away there. Too much on the ball, but actually did well to shield in the process and won a free kick. In the end, great work. I should never doubt Danny Mack. Well, we found a ball, so we're not going to be down to using a wrapped up piece of aluminium foil. Sent away Ian De Castro. Wicks could get there first. Fufus said, I'd rather it be me. Bounced. No one really got anything on that. Well won there by Kuzmanovsky. In behind running is Field. In behind running is Hilton. Simple stuff for De Castro, who delayed just a tiny little bit, and slightly heart and mouth moment for those watching, but he's cleared it just fine. Ball into the box, but that was there. Prasad did really well, clutching on his right foot there. Has to stretch quite hard. I think Badat got a little bit of him too, and as a result, we have a corner. Well, right on the 30-minute mark, this would be a great time. I'm sure any time in the 90 would be a great time to score, but this would be a great way to set up the last 15 minutes of the first half. It will be an out swinger to be delivered by Field. One hand raised towards that front post. Cleared away. Precious, I do believe. Wicks was brave. James Field tries it! Oh, crossbar! And cleared Dalkeith. Handball was the call being asked, and we get a break in play for a moment to talk about what almost was a goal of the season contender. You can see Ropes number 10 just sitting there, uncontested on the edge of the box, just waiting for a moment like that, and it came to him. But the former man from Coogee couldn't find anything but the crossbar. My word, that was stunning technique. Actually played for Canberra, Croatia in the Canberra NPL competition. You can see the quality he has there. My word, that would have been a goal from out of this world. Almost sad it didn't go in. Oh, Dow Keith with a little no-look throw there. That's a new one. Wicks taken out off the ball. Well won there by Danny Mack. That's really exceptional. That's a bit more lucky. That was too much. And here they come. Shane Prasad slightly out of position, but he's done so well. Had to win that there and did. Field, who will be in good spirits after his shot hit the crossbar then, but that pass actually was a bit wayward. And that's the 1/3 mark of the game that we've crossed by a couple of minutes ago. And it's been one that has been thoroughly enjoyable for every fan and those neutral too. Nice touch there by Gaffer. Workers have really grown into a team happy to hold possession. After the first couple of minutes didn't go their way, here comes the marauding fullback, Christopher Dow-Keith. 4 times a grand final winner. Today an assist towards the back post again. Oh, it might fall here for Workers, it doesn't. It's been cleared there by Fufus with his weaker right foot. Precious, great touch out of the sky. And then he just relaxed too much. Kuzmanovsky, Ahmed Badat now. That's asking a lot of Marcus Field, who's running away from goal. There's no one really in the box. Hilton is the only one. Comes back here to James Field. He looks to deliver it in. He does towards that backstick. Hilton over. That's better from Ropes. A nice counter-attack there where they were patient. They didn't just lump it forward. They waited for the right runners to do their job. And Hilton unlucky with that finish, but positive signs. Played short. Asking a lot there with Chivindu in the back of Ford, I do believe. Kuzmanovsky, if he just got that pass through, Ropes would have had a real opportunity to score. In the end, good defensive work from Workers. Chris Dalkeith, by the way, has played 1.5 games of football as a right back and has 1 goal and one assist to go with it. The productive fullback once got 7 goals and 6 assists in a season as a right back when he was at Ponds in his last season. That included 3 free kick goals. He is no stranger to getting up and down and notching up a very big handful of goal contributions. Another one tonight. He's got the return of a striker so far. Brilliant signing. Ropes win it back. Danny Mack, such a great turner while on the ball, and a great ball too. Blake Ford now past Javinda, A bit too easy there, and flashed across the face of goal, and somehow Workers didn't get anything on it. Recovered here by Precious. Frufus, it's allowed to bounce just in front of him. Wixie picks it back up. Precious left-footed pass to find Chris Dalkeith. Might he just hit it with his left foot? He does, and it goes into the DHL car park. Workers are starting to establish themselves as probably the more dominant team in this one. Ropes need to find a way to even the odds a little bit. Ten to go in the first half. And I don't think there'll be much to add on as well. Danny Mack wins it in the air. Probably the contender for the B2 Group Stocks man of the match so far. Fufus does well. I think he hurt himself a little bit in the coming together. Chance for Workers here who have a numerical superiority somehow. Back to Ford, and they just slow it down. Danny Mack has slipped, and could they be away here? But Dad not really running in behind. Now he is. Touch away from Prasad, who's just as quick as he is, though, and he had the better line towards the ball. And Prasad's had a really, really positive game as a centre-back. Lovely touch there as Blake Ford unfortunately just forgot about the ball. But that asking for that to be a handball or a free kick for some reason. I think it's now been given in favour of Ropes. Can Ropes hit back here with a set piece? Interestingly, Chavinda, who's by far and away the tallest player out there, isn't yet into the box. Now he's making a late run. Dalkeith is the one to get towards him. It's been cleared there by Ian De Castro. Picked up here by Camilleri. De Castro, so brave, put his head where most players wouldn't put their foot. De Castro in a nosebleed area for him. Wicks now supporting him. He opts to go the other way. Sliding in was Camilleri. Now wide it goes to the man who has separated the two teams on the score sheets. He goes for a second one, and it was just whiskers away. A lovely move by Workers, led by Ian De Castro's bravery and then his healthy decision-making as well. Went for the man who's in, well, clearly got a healthy goal-scoring touch too. And he just missed it, did Blake Ford. Of course, he's been a centre-back for so many years now, but of course, we all remember that the reason why he used to wear number 10 as a centre-back is because that was his original position. Now he's a bit further forward, not quite through the middle like he would prefer, I'm sure, but preferred off to the left and having a wonderful game. Just over 5 minutes to go in this first half. A first half which has given us a goal and an ever-increasing number of moments to talk about. Chavinda loses it. Back to Ben Dalkeith, looking for a first clean sheet of the year. Dalkeith, this time Chris, the elder of the two. Well won there. He's had a really good game so far. Now Chris Wicks is playing as a right back because Chris Dalkeith is going to occupy the right wing spot. Wixie okay to do that. They might swap back now. Fufus spreads it to find Camilleri. Nice idea. It was flicked cutely by Hilton. Offside flag has been raised. Whistle to go with it too. No Chris Chum either at the moment, who actually today sold his first house as a real estate agent. Congratulations to you, by the way. Not sure as to why he's absent from today. Sent in behind. Badat. Shane Prasad. I know we're having a bit of fun trying to find him a nickname, but he's actually having a very, very good game. His recovery pace, very handy. Free is Blake Ford, brother Brandon on the bench. So often a goal scorer in the match of the round is Brandon. Free kick here for Ropes, who are maybe 5 or 6 yards away from the 18-yard box, but it's a really nice position if they want to either shoot or whip one towards a taller figure. And with a couple of minutes left to go in the half, this could be a real opportunity for them to hit back and equal things. Now James Field, who has come closest for them by smacking the crossbar with about 2 trillion horsepower 15 minutes ago. Is he going to go for glory, or won't he find the delivery? He hits it towards goal. It was always rising, unfortunately. That's a good chance. And a good chance missed. Well, the excellent goal that Workers scored on the 25-minute mark is still the goal that separates these two teams, as that halftime beckons closer by the moment. That's not for lack of trying by either side to either increase that or make it a level playing field again. Plenty of chances as the two teams have sort of opened up as the game went on. Goes on to. Sent away by Douth Keith, who's now decided he wants to take the goal kicks. Tried to find his brother, didn't. Wixie did well, so did James Field. That was cute there by Precious. He's got such a footballer's name, Lachlan Precious. Danny McDougall. Oh, that's a silly giveaway. And now Ahmed Badat has the chance for a first ever match of the round goal. It's been saved brilliantly there. And then on the follow-up though, Kuzmanovski's gone too wide. Surely he has. Running out of space, goal kick. A monster opportunity to level things on the cusp of halftime, wasted. Or perhaps we should say saved by Dow Keith in net. That's a big, big moment for one of many former Riverstone men in net. Big, big save. And away it goes. And if they are to go through to halftime and perhaps on to win this game, that's a moment where they can look back at and thank their shot stopper. It's a thankless job at times. Ahmed Badat ruining that opportunity that he would have loved to have scored. It's fallen here for Marcus Field. And then Johnny Haynes, Dow Keith again in net. Another big save. And it's brought about a round of applause. Perhaps it isn't a thankless job. He's been valued right now by his many adoring supporters. Shane Prasad's gone down. I think it hit him in the soft spot when he made a block a couple of moments ago. And he has stayed down. Maybe his nickname should be Ballsy. He'll be okay. Opportunity for the players to take a drinks break. Ropes are the one who are utilising this time to speak to their coach, Tony Muscat. They're going to need a big second half performance. It's not like they are out of this by any stretch of the imagination. Fufus daring to hold on to it just a while longer to pull Guthrie out of position. In fact, I haven't seen Guthrie on the ball too much since he had that opportunity that just went wide of the left-hand upright in the opening 10 minutes or so. He's played more of a facilitator role, and it's really helped workers out. Such a generous, selfless player, Tom Guthrie. He's actually quite capable of doing it all himself if he wants to. Lovely work there. John Haynes now. Throw in for Ropes. Well, we are into borrowed time. The whistle should be blown at any moment. We are looking at probably time added on for the celebrations perhaps, and maybe for Broussard's temporary injury a couple of minutes ago. So it is going to be now or wait until the second half for Ropes. This might be the last opportunity of the stanza. In it comes by Chavinza. Haynes was rising. He's actually headed it towards goal. Just a goal kick it will be. And that might just do it for the half. Another look at the watch by the ref. Might let the goal kick be played and then he'll call it. Sent away. On we go, though. Workers need to stay sharp until the end. Kuzmanovsky. Badat. Workers win it back. Now could they break? Is there enough time? Precious just got it back under control before Fufus came in with a pretty heroic slide tackle. And now Ropes are the ones going forward. In towards Kuzmanovsky. Not much of a goal scorer, more of a provider, and he slipped at the vital moment there. And that will bring about the last play of the first half. It's been a very entertaining first half of football where Ropes finds himself behind thanks to a brilliant Workers goal. It went from Danny McDougall through to Chris Dalkeith, who squared it perfectly for Blake Ford, and that's how we have the goal. Ropes most certainly not out of this. They can be proud of a first half showing, and they can consider themselves unlucky if the crossbar had been an inch or two higher. They would be equal through an absolutely brilliant goal, but it's not to be. Let's see what the second half has for us. Come back in about 12 minutes or so. We'll preview the first half and let you know of any changes. But until then, right now, the results we know of is 1-0 at half-time here. We know that it's 2-1 the way of Tigers against Ponds. We know Rivo went down 1-0 to Dooney. So, until then, we'll see you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For the first time in match of their own history, both teams have actually used up the full 15 minutes of the halftime break. Usually they keep to come out after about 8, but Workers and Ropes clearly enjoying the warmer weather inside of the change rooms. It is 1-0, of course, to the home side, who have had a fantastic showing in the opening 45 minutes. Ropes, though, not far from at their best, I wouldn't say, and it's been a best that they can be pretty proud of. They just need to take it up a gear or two, and they might find themselves right back in this one. And we'll see if there's any changes once the referees do make their way out. But right now, it is a fantastic Workers goal that separate these two teams. If you have just joined us, news from around the grounds, Mariong are the only team to find themselves having scored more than 10 goals already. They won 5-1 over Prospect, who look to be struggling a little bit in these opening parts of the season. It could be a long one for them. So 5-1 they won, 2 wins in a row for the champions. Ponds went down to Quakers Hill Tigers, who are also undefeated and also have 2 wins to start the season. The new boys of the competition are absolutely loving life in the top spots. I heard as well that there were a couple of red cards in that game too, so that was a bit of a fun one for the neutral, and it was at Ponds as well, which makes it so much more interesting. And then as well, Dooney beat Riverston 1-0. I'm awaiting for results from the other games around, but I will let you know once I do. But this one here right now would see Workers pick up their first 3 points of the year. It would also condemn Ropes to a winless, pointless start to their season. Of course, it is such early doors. There are 18 games in a row, 18 games in the season for these guys to, of course, find their form. But right now, it's Ropes who need to do the work to get back into the game. Do they have what it takes? Absolutely. Will they produce it is another story. Away we are. Now Workers run right to left and have an opportunity very early on for their man who has the opening goal of the game. He's found through already. Blake Ford to double it and double his goal tally as well. What a fantastic start to the second half. A brilliant run in behind from one of their most experienced players. And he has smashed it past the keeper after rounding him for good measure as well. It's a horror start to the second half for the white and yellows. Find themselves down by 2 now. We know in the game against Mariong in round 1, they started the first half so good. The score was the same in that one too. 1-0 they were behind by. That game ended up being 5-2. Are we seeing a similar second half drop off from them right now? Well, now their work is really cut out. All that work in the change room to try and tweak and amend things now, that needs to be ripped up and scrapped away, because they have a 2-goal deficit to overcome now, away from home in front of a bubbly Workers crowd. This is looking like it might just be Workers' first win of the season. And when Workers were strugglers a couple of years ago in the COVID-cancelled season, it was a big win up against Park Lee that really invigorated their season in a match of the round. They were absolutely loving life here at Laybutt. And we're seeing that their first win of this season, although a different context, of course, might just label them as one of the favourites for a competing spot. What a campaign this is opening up to be. And what a performance it's been from Blake Ford, who had so much time to think about that and potentially get it wrong, but he kept his composure so well. Two-zip. The 1-2, by the way, with Tom Guthrie, who picks up an assist to go with his fantastic facilitative performance so far. It's a first goal contribution in familiar colours in the match of the round for Mr. Guthrie. It was a lovely, decisive flick in behind. But Blake Ford did all the hard work and did it so well. A double for him. Danny McDougall. So who is your vote currently for the B2 Gripsocks player of the match? There's a couple of Workers boys it could go to. I think as well, if you want to talk about a Ropes player, Kuzmanovski's been fantastic in the middle of the park. Gaffer has some space to run in behind. He is going to do it as the left back for the first time. He's not really too keen on going forward, by his own words, by the way. It's not really something he wants to do. In fact, the one time he's done it, he's been called up for offside here. So that might be the last time he gets forward. Leaves that more to his opposite fullback, Christopher Dow-Keith. What a wonderful game for the neutral we're witnessing here. This is the beauty of Blacktown Premier League. It's been a very close 1-2 throughout, but Workers in danger of making it a no contest. But Ropes want to find something back here. What a touch! Oh, and what a save again! Oh, on a different day with a different goalkeeper, this game is already evened up. But Ben Dalkeith is earning his money today. There's some calls from the Ropes technical area to really crowd around the keeper here. Perhaps they've identified that as something that they want to exploit. Well, they're certainly doing that now. It's led by John Haynes. Ball in towards the backstick by Field. Rising highest, I think, was Hilton. There is Ahmed Badat, who eventually gets it under control up against Lockie Precious. Fizzed across the face. That's the goal to bring it back in. Badat's assist. Haynes' goal. Not for the first time. And Ropes have responded very quickly. And now it's game on. No time for celebrating. They rush back to the centre. Strap yourselves in, people. This is about to be a very entertaining last 40 minutes. And Workers, who just looked so cool, calm and collected moments ago, couldn't clear their lines properly, allowed Hilton to win the initial ball out of the air from the corner, and then they allowed the golden boot winner to scramble around with it in the box. And he was decisive. And Haynes' finish, delicate, and finally Ben Dalkeith is beaten. It's been a monster performance so far, and like we said, if Dalkeith hadn't have been here, perhaps the scoreline's different with a bit more of a white touch to it. Wicks trying to restore that 2-goal cushion that they only had for a couple of moments. Given away, and now Ropes have a spring in their step. Johnny Haynes is lucky to have kept it, but maybe luck's going to be on their side now. Field tries to clip it out wide to his cousin, doesn't find him. Gaffer wins it out of the air. You can even just hear the amount of talking that's coming from the stands around us, that this is clearly going to be a contest. Even the fans are competing to make the most noise. Continuing on his run was Chavinda. Marcus Field, he gives it away though. It's found here, Ahmed Badat. Ahmed Badat! Ahmed Badat! My word, close. And Ropes are now looking like they have the momentum in their favour, and that they do. Well, he's not left-footed, but that was a sensational strike. And he can consider himself unlucky, just as James Field was an hour ago, to not have scored there. But Ropes are putting the pressure on. How quickly has the momentum shifted in this game? It's unbelievable. De Castro wasn't first to it. Now he's been beaten. It's Ahmed Badat. He squares it. Could this be a 1-2 punch quickly? John Haynes. Wasn't the kind of finish he was looking and hoping for. Well, I'm not sure what happened between the first and the second Workers' goal, but it flicks something on inside of Ropes, who are riding a high at the moment, but they need to use this time to score a goal and bring it back level, because this high won't last for the rest of the 45 minutes. The Workers right now feeling the pinch. Ropes now the ones holding onto the ball. Lucky that escaped the jaws of Guthrie. Lira sends it forward. Great touch by Ahmed Badat, who's having a wonderful performance with the ball. Chavinda to deliver way too much on it. There was an option for a Garnajo bicycle kick attempted there. He opted not to go for it. Good ball in. The idea was right. Just a bit wayward of last year's Golden Boot winner. I feel like he might have a goal in this game, you know. Will Gaffer finds Bazina, who we haven't seen on the ball too much in this second half just yet. And the first time we've really honed in on it, he's given it away. The former Spartans man. Play slows down just a little bit here. Chavinda takes that throw in. Another former Hawkesbury City representative playing here today. One there again by Chavinda. Ahmed Badat's not going to get there first because Danny McDougall sees space and orange hair in front of him. He tries to find him. He didn't. Fufus did well, and now he's going on a run. He's continuing down that left-hand channel. Oh, that's a horrendous challenge. But luckily everyone's okay. Very, very late. Very easily could have been a yellow. Hilton just getting a talking to. It's probably the first moment in the entire 50 minutes that there's been a ball in play that could have warranted a yellow of any measure. Instead, Jim Azar decides to let it on. Luckily, Wixie jumped at the right time and didn't feel the full force of that into his shin bone. Here is Will Gaffer, centred pass to the 2022 Player of the Year when he was in Riverston colours. He puts that out wide. Really, really good idea, but just a little too much for even Dow Keith. Well defended there. Oh, Dow Keith needs to be careful. He is careful. Prasad now. Asking a lot of Danny Mack, but my word, is he capable. Even just that little touch there was so expo. That's really lovely from Guthrie. Oh, good ball, Dow Keith. Well, he's on a hat trick, is Blake Ford. Danny Mack urged to keep it moving. It's past Javinda, who slipped over. Blake Ford has a chance to turn provider. Blake Fufus has done so well. Danny McDougall! And we had the most perfect angle of that. And he almost had the most perfect whip on it. But just 5% wide. And Workers are certainly not shy of still going forward. They are not going to rest on their laurels. It's only a one-goal laurel, of course. That means nothing in this sport. Well, if the first half was interesting for a whole host of tactical reasons, this half has been interesting from the perspective of just a bit of guns blazing football. Both enjoyable for different reasons. Sent away, Jordan Davidson. Missed Haynes, one Bazina, one Dow Keith. Picked up field. Forward they come. Prasad is there though, he sends that away. That's 10 minutes and 40 odd seconds played in this second half already. We've seen 2 goals, a couple of big challenges, and shots whiskers away from altering the scoreboard again. It's been a great start to the second period. So Ropes with an opportunity to deliver a corner ball in. Shavinda was rising, so was De Castro defensively. And Bazina looks to be quicker than Camilleri there. Camilleri got there in the end. Kuzmanovski delivers in again. I think that was Danny Mack, who's actually quite tall despite his technical ability. Got it away with his head. Tussle for it on that far side. That'll go the way of Workers. That's Dow Keith on the far side. Might just want to send this one away. That he does. Great flick to find Danny Mack, and such an important interception there by Alfredo Lira. Gee, I can't even begin to tell you how significant that moment was there. They were away, Workers, and there are some serious numbers pushed forward for those in white. Davidson. Fufus looks one way, then the other, then checks again. Scans and finds his centre-half partner. Here is the man who's won the game so far. Dalkeith does get there this time. Wixie is ahead of him. Camilleri not closing down the winger, rather the fullback. Lachlan Precious back to Shane Prasad. Castro just about gets it under control. Asking a lot of Bazina, whose touch was really nice, and that pass in behind was the right idea, the wrong execution, unfortunately. Well, approaching the 2/3 mark of the game. When we were at the 1/3 mark, it was clearly Workers who were playing the better football. They had a goal to go with it as well. But now Ropes are most certainly performing at a higher level. We asked them to do that. The problem is it just took them a goal to find that higher level. A goal against them, I should say. Had they switched on from the very first moments of the second half, we'd be even right now. But Workers fans and supporters sitting around me were quite jovial and boisterous moments ago, and now it's that deficit halved almost immediately. It's a bit more reserved. They know they have a game on their hands here in what is a hugely important 3 points. And a big day for the club championship as well. They must get some points. Chavinda. It's been an interesting change for him to move as a right back rather than as a centre half. You would think he would be a classic win every ball in the air sort of centre back, but that's not what Tony Muscat sees out of his former Hawkesbury City man. Lira will close that one down. Davidson's going to come for that, and does, and absolutely cleans up his own centre back in the process there. That looked extremely painful. He whirled around like a hula hoop. And he's probably just got whiplash. And he's staying down. Cause for concern. So he's back to his feet, which is a very good sight to see. A little ginger in his movements. Another quick chat for the players with their coach, Tony Muscat. And back in play we are. 30 minutes for Ropes to recover. 30 minutes for Blacktown Workers to find their first 3-point return of the season in any grade that club championship points count for. A contest for whose though it is. An important call. Workers' ball it was originally, now it's going to be Ropes. And they try to play quickly, out of position a little bit. Wicks is the one having to recover back defensively. Centre ball by Kuzmanovski. Running in behind is Chavinda, running in behind is Marcus Field. It comes to the former, who's inside the box. Great touch out of the sky. He should win the physical contest here with Gaffer. He cuts towards the byline. Across the face, it's been parried away by Ben Dalkeith. As Ropes make the best of that throwing call that went their way. All it needed was it to rustle the back of the nets, and it would have been perfect. Fufus now will reignite the fire. Switch of play was the intention. Marcus Field, for some reason, ducked underneath the ball. Cleared away by Ben Dalkeith. Workers looking to get a bit of a foot on the ball. Tom Guthrie leading the press, if you like. Not much of a pressing team, though, are Workers. They like to sit in. Ball in behind, a little directionless, to be honest. Wow, so a big result for Eastern Creek, who bounced back after losing to Riverson Schofield in the opening round. In reserves, they won 1-0. In first grade, they won 6-2. That's a very, very important result for them, because I think a lot of people were shocked to see them lose to a brand new looking Riverstone team. But that's a big result for them. I believe they were playing Quakers Juniors, by the way, the Green Derby, if you like. So that's another concerning day for the juniors. And if it looked bad in round one, it's looking a whole lot worse after today. So Prospect and juniors looking like they might have a very couple of important games when they feature, as Chris Wicks has received a free kick for being absolutely battered into there. And even though he's helped to his feet by Camilleri, I think that might just raise the tempers a little bit, if you like. Crowd are starting to work their way into this as well. This is clearly becoming a contest that both teams are realizing that it's important that they win, but they're also both capable of winning. Ropes just needed a little bit of belief. I told you that momentum high wouldn't last too long, though. They were absolutely dominant for about 3 or 4 minutes and could have had an equaliser straight away after they scored their deficit halver, as Kuzmanovsky is barreled into by 2, but somehow comes away with it. As Christian, great turn by the man who has Ropes' goal, and he's, well, that's a rather strange one. But yes, just to return to the point, very concerning for Prospect and Quakers Hill Juniors. 2 very bad results to start the season. In truth, I think outside of those 2, though, every team will probably consider themselves as top 5 contenders, and a couple of those within that batch will consider themselves as genuine title threats. Who are those title threats, though? Well, are we seeing 1 or 2 today? I'll let you be the judge. Ahmed Badat wins it back. A terrible giveaway by Workers. They might surrender their 2-goal lead. He cuts back. The Golden Boot winner has fluffed it, unfortunately, at the final moment. Just did too much. Then it was 1 back. And now Kuzmanovsky plays it through. Squared. Kuzmanovsky again. A heroic sliding challenge by Gaffer. The hometown hero with a big moment there. Hilton again, across the floor, clear but not convincingly, and then a big block as DHL receive another free football. A silly giveaway initially by, I think, Ian De Castro, uncharacteristic of him, but Ben Dalkeith, my word, has earned his keep today. On a different day and a different timeline, I think Ropes are winning this game. And if this game was played out exactly the same way, I think 9 times out of 10, Ropes would be the ones finding themselves in front. Workers really need to shut up defensively and do it quickly, or they're going to find that their lead is surrendered. But Ahmed Badat, maybe he overthought it too much, should have just hit it towards the bottom left-hand corner when it was on his right foot. He opted not to, though. And the result is that they are still behind with 25 minutes to go. Well, this will certainly contribute to the added on time. There's already players out there stretching. I think this isn't a cramping issue. I think this is my knee got smashed in the process. It looks like Anya Morale will come on imminently for Ropes crossing. I wonder who will be the man who makes way. Anya in the 11 jersey. Morale, a very quick, very technical winger with the ability to burst past defenders. And also physically imposing too. Getting last words of wisdom from Tony Muscat. Who's coming off? So it will be the man who was injured. So either Hilton or Kuzmanovsky has come off. Either way, it's a big loss. Morale comes on, a more attack-minded player. Really unfortunate way for the game to end. Could he make himself an instant match of the round hero? Ball towards him too, and it's headed towards the goalkeeper, and it was headed right at him. And Ropes have really got their finger on the trigger. They just haven't pulled it properly yet. The safety is still on. Workers are unfortunately letting themselves go in this game a little bit. They would love to find a goal here, though. Chris Wicks is so capable of doing it on his own. Last time he was on the match of the round cameras, he scored a poker. Chris Wicks, that should be a penalty. The whistle's been blown. Well, he's going to go talk to his assistant referee first. But Chris Wicks might, yes, Chris Wicks will have a penalty won in his favour. Some brilliant work by the dazzling winger. And I think it was Camilleri who was just a bit too brave. Thought he could get to it, he didn't. Now, the interesting point is who's going to take this? Blake Ford has a 1-2 record with penalties. 2 against, 1 score. The most recent one he took was the one that actually put them out of the finals last year. It's going to be Tom Guthrie who takes it instead. He's got an assist for what's currently the winning goal. Is he about to have a match of the round marked with a goal? The number 8 playing as a 9 has a chance to restore that 2-goal cushion. It'll be Guthrie. It's been saved! The follow-up saved again! Jordan Davidson has just put his name all over this tie. The goalkeepers both with some of the best performances we've seen in Match of the Round history. What a save down to his left. He once saved 3 penalties to win a grand final in his youth days. And on camera now in the Match of the Round, it must be the hat he's wearing. All the best goalkeepers in Blacktown seem to wear hats even at night. And Jordan Davidson has just kept Ropes most likely in this one. And Workers do not restore that 2-goal cushion. And they'll have to keep digging in for it. Frustrations for Darren Graham and co. A huge moment by Jordan Davidson, though. He got down so quickly. And Jordan Camilleri alleviated. 20 minutes to go, all to play for. So Workers have actually, in regular play, have now had more penalties missed than scored. That's 3 in the history of Match of the Round games, with 2 having been missed and 1 having been scored. That's an unusual stat. It defies mathematics. One by Chavinda. Can Ropes use that to build momentum like they did off the back of their first goal? Haynes, their first goal scorer, gave it away again. Brendan Bazina. Blake Ford to his left. He'll find him. There's a lot behind that ball. Offside flag raised. Back in play. Lira, who's had a very competent Match of the Round debut. So here is Christian Kuzmanovsky in front of our eyes, by the way. Confirmation of his exit from the game. It's taken him a while to walk to the Ropes technical area. Precious. Really well done there by James Field. Oh, and it almost found him back again. Gaffer did well, though. So Castro put it out for a throw. Badat got something on it. It's gone back to the throw-in taker. Chavinda to deliver. It's a very high ball. Morale was there. Out it goes, just a goal kick. Well, one in the air there. Morale now off the bench to deliver a ball towards the 6-yard box. Precious was there. He was just in some free space. Somehow no ropes players to follow it up. They are really on the cusp of finding an equaliser. I think workers need to change something around. In swinging ball, Morale there. And over it went. So if you are Tony Muscat, do you change things or do you keep them the same? They're just missing that finishing touch at the moment. Still 15 or so minutes to go. Dalkeith against Morale. Anya was the one who lost out. Chris did well. Now Chris Wicks doing even better. Such a powerful runner with the ball. Picked up here. Fufus, the captain. It's a foot race. Prasad's won it again, though. Fufus wins it. Well done there. De Castro. Touch out of the sky, Chavinda. Finds the slightly more technically proficient James Field, who's so capable of finding a great pass. Sent wide. Camilleri, who gave away that penalty. Wouldn't he love to get an assist here across the face? Ahmed Badat! Oh, we are talking millimetres. Millimetres from a first match of the round goal, millimetres from an equaliser here tonight. And workers just cannot sort themselves out defensively right now. It is such a change from the first half where they looked so assured in everything they did. And now they're relying on Wicks's brilliant pace to get them out of trouble and just lump it forwards towards him. That's a very deep ball. Hilton tried a bicycle kick in the end. He might have actually fractured every single one of his discs. That looked rather painful. A reminder that the Tigers' win today happened without Brandon Kemp in the team, who's still working his way back into the first grade space after being away for a little bit. The All-Star, of course, which makes it even more impressive. Also, don't forget the fact that Pons in the podcast basically told them that Tigers were going to get relegated. That's quite the revenge story, you have to say. Long time in the season left to go, though. And a chance to face them at Patterson and make things right. Chavinda finds Anya Morale. Finds Marcus Field. Just didn't get anything behind that whatsoever. 77 minutes played. Throw-in taken from one Dalkeith to another. From one Chris now to another. Danny Mack. Dalkeith was free. It didn't find him, though. Fufus was there. Chavinda starting to run in behind. Lumped forward towards the right back. Instead it's Workers left back who's done well. Will Gaffer. And now this is Alfredo Lira. Given away to... Ooh, terrible tackle. A little bit late though, and Lira's been in the wars today. Zena apologises. Still no yellow card been distributed yet, and Lira's going to stay down. And considering the fact that they're losing, this is not play acting. Certainly not at all. This is, I've just been stepped on, and my word, it hurts. The workers looking like they're going to bring on Taylor Redden, who is also, of course, a BDSFA referee, which obviously therefore means by the laws of the game he has no idea what he's doing. So who's going to be the one that makes way? I would imagine it would have to be one of their forward players. Taylor Redden, a very, very composed midfield general. As a luckily Precious actually is the one who's come off, so I think he might have been feeling something there. Off he goes down the tunnel, straight to the change room. Hopefully he's okay. He's had a very decent performance out there tonight. On comes Taylor. Best mates off the pitch, those two. And a quick how you going as they exchange positions on the field. Looks like Taylor Redden's the furthest player forward right now. So D'Cunha's going to come on as Johnny Haynes comes off. It's Nerio D'Cunha, one of two on the bench. Tyrese, the other one, not preferred just yet. Another one who's got a real footballer's name. That's the expert analysis you come for when you listen to my commentary. Right, changes for both teams. And the ball about to be back in play after Alfredo Lira went down temporarily. It's really quiet here at Workers, who are clearly worried about what could happen in these next 10 minutes as Chris Dalkeith goes down in a bit of a heap. He stayed down. The referee can see him now. He's going to actually stop play. All this will be time added on, of course. Now, we are technically into the last 10 minutes, but I can imagine there might be at least 15 or so to play. This is already another minute to be added on for Dalkeith's injury concerns. He's a man who likes to get into the wars. If you happen to tune into our Blacktown Premier League 1 promotional video a couple of months ago, he was the guy who got absolutely stonewalled in that challenge. Upended in a flash. So he's used to getting stuck in. Drop ball it will be. And a Workers ball too. Cleared away. Taylor Redden has left it because he thinks he was offside. He's a referee, he knows. Very brave by Lira, very brave. Davidson, who's, if they find a point from this game, will be considered one of the heroes and is certainly up for the B2 Gripsocks player of the match. Here is Blake Ford, a reminder, he's on a hat-trick. Into the box. He will go for it. No, he'll go to square it. What a ball. Off the bench straight away. Is that Redden who has a chance? Another big save. The keepers have kept this at a comfortable scoreline. On another day, both teams have scored far more goals than what they actually have. Shout out to Ben Dalkeith and to Jordan Davidson. Footwork was nice, and then Fufi gives it away. Looks like Brendan Ford is going to come on as well, somebody who has scored in each of his last 3 off-the-bench match of the round appearances. He is so reliable at scoring when the cameras are on. He just says that he enjoys the moment and doesn't take it too seriously. And it helps him keep a cool head, I imagine. Forward there by Gaffer. Davidson screaming at his defence to tighten up. But that's running in behind. He's going to be found. No, the pass was a bit too poor as Prasad. Almost got it wrong. Cleared by Dalkeith, and Workers survive again. Has Taylor Redden been brought on to be a target man figure up top? Blake Ford. Taylor Redden. Macca with space. Dalkeith now missed the ball and got all of Morale. Morale still. Anya Morale will drive through his own box. Has to be careful. Has to be really careful. Has to be more careful than that. Ball in behind, and it was a poor one. Goal kick. Are they going to go to the bench now to find Mr. Brendan Ford? Well, set up your second screen because the Sydney Derby is exactly 35 seconds away from beginning. But don't switch off this because this is going to be a really fun last 10 minutes or so. On comes Brendan Ford, off comes Chris Wicks, who's had a really good game, won the penalty that should have made this game a 3-1 scoreline. Comes off to an applause. He'll be happy with his showing tonight. Should have had a technical assist with the penalty he won, but not to be. Great ball. Marcus Field, a swap of positions for the two Field boys. Great touch out of the sky. James did a little bit too much. Nerio Da Cunha was there. He's left it here for Blake Fufus. I think he hit his own player in Anya Morale. Cleared Dalkeith. Touch off the bottom of Morale's shoe. Ball in by Jordan Camilleri. Cleared by De Castro. There is James Field now back in his more familiar central position. Anya Morale. Nerio Da Cunha was there too. Hasn't really got a touch on the ball just yet. As the young lad. Arms raised for offside. Nothing's been called though. Nothing has been raised in terms of the flag either. Nathan Bazina showing his pace. It's actually Ahmed Badat, the one who's tracking him down. What do you even call Ahmed's position? Is he a striker? Is he something of a total footballer? It's absolutely incredible the work rate he puts in. It's made him feel a bit buggered though. Defending there by Lira. Jared Burgess looking to make a late sub-on appearance here as well. Number 18 for Ropes. Oh, great turn there. Blake Ford. Taylor Redden 1-2. Hasn't really sharpened up to the speed of the game just yet, Taylor. 4 minutes of regular time still to go. Off comes Timmy Hilton. After a positive performance, although he looks a bit unhappy with himself. But he should bear a smile. Workers, although it might feel like time is moving slowly, actually only have a couple of minutes left to go before we're in added time. They are almost home. It looked for a while there like Ropes were going to find a goal. Now Brandon Ford showing some great strength. Those two there, Fufus as well in the challenge. Both stayed on their feet too. Oh, he's lucky that that's worked out. Bazina gave it away then. Forward comes Nerio Da Cunha. Running in behind was Anya Morale, but Shane Prasad has just read everything perfectly tonight. Dalkeith. Prasad sends it away. A bit more convincingly. Great touch. Fufus. Marcus Field. Gave it away. Oh, poor by Chavinda there. Bazina will try one from distance, and it was probably looked a little bit closer than it actually was, but the intent and the confidence to take it on from there is impressive. Jared Burgess is on. There he is, carrying the ball back for the goal kick. Two to go. Marcus Field having to work really hard here. It's taken off him, but Lira was well positioned. Launched forward. One there by Danny Mack. Cunha didn't get there. De Castro did. Chavinda with not a lot of space to work with. He's giving it away. Workers are getting closer. 90 seconds left to go for Workers to find their first 3 points. It'll be a big celebration, I'm sure. And that ball goes out, and that allows another 10 seconds or so to pass on by. A look at the watch by Jim Azar means that he knows that we're getting close to him having to count down from the time he's decided to add on. Really strong work there by Taylor Redden, who knows what his role is. Hold it there, he says. Whose ball will that be? Well, it's actually stayed in. Ropes have it back through the fresh legs of Jared Burgess. Blake Fufus now. A bit of a hit and hope. Given it away. Dalkeith won it back. Danny McDougall has it now. Prepared to slow things down to his speed. Tom Guthrie picks it up. Sent wide to Brandon Ford. Like I said, last 3 games, always a goal contribution. He's been pummeled into there and gets straight back up. Goal kick. Unhappy are the Workers fans. Forward they come. Chavinda to find Field. It's becoming do or die now or never. And a very fatigued giveaway there. We are now officially into borrowed time. Very much so into borrowed time. Throw-in taken long. Taylor Redden with Chavinda behind him. Field's done well. Blake Ford slipped over. Marcus Field trying too much, but in the end he actually won a free kick from it. Ropes need to take this quickly. Workers need to get back and defend. Ropes don't look like they're in too much of a rush, so they know that there's only a couple of moments left in the game. It's looking like Blake Ford's brace will be enough to secure the 3 points here. Unless Ropes want to change that right now. Great touch there, Burgess. Clipped in behind. And it's an easy save for Dalkeith, who will eat up every moment that he's allowed to do. A big 3 points could be just moments away. Well, that ball's gone away. Chavinda will have a throw in now. Again, they're not really rushing to take it. So they have mere moments left. De Cunha was barreled off the ball. Consecutive throw-ins for Ropes. It's not even bouncing kindly, the ball for them. It's gone out of the stadium for a moment. Chavinda with a suspicious throw-in. Shane Prasad clears it more up than out. Taken out of the sky eventually by Field. Goes back to Captain Fufus. Camilleri up high. Anya Morale. Badat back to goal. Didn't get his pass right. Anya Morale competing for it. Free kick given. And there, the time slipping away from the strikers. Workers want to make a sub. A reminder, if you're enjoying what you've seen, what you've heard, please do remember to leave a like on the video on our live stream. Let us know that you've enjoyed it. Off comes Blake Ford after probably a player of the match performance, receiving a well-deserved round of applause for his 2 goals and likely the winning goal included in that. I'm surprised they were allowed to make a sub so late, but that they've been allowed to do. And still Ropes have to wait for Workers who eat up some more time. Well, one Ford might be off the pitch, but this one's still on it. Brandon Ford. And it was easy in the end. Wanted a goal straight away. Burgess sends it forward. De Castro won it. And then was nutmegged. De Cunha hasn't really got up to the speed of the game yet, but it's been frantic. No whistle to the lips just yet. On we will go. There is Burgess. Delivered in. Anya Morale took it well out of the sky. Shoots over. Got a lot of power behind that. So we welcome as well to the match of the round. On debut is Zane, who's just come on, who has just joined from Bankstown City Lions, which is a very impressive signing. Getting his couple of minutes as he finds his feet in the Blacktown Premier League. Well, we're now into the 4th minute. And it doesn't feel like it because Ropes aren't really demanding that anything happens quickly and Workers aren't feeling too frantic. It feels like they're already home and dry in some ways. How much more time are we going to get? A look at the watch by the ref. Another look at the watch by the ref. This is it for Ropes now, I think. Anya Morale gives it away. Sent forward. And now Zane onto the pitch for the first time. Showing some good pace as Ropes try and defend. Free kick given. Right, Ropes need to really get themselves forward quickly now. This is it. That was a free kick, so not a throw-in. What are Ropes made of? That's the question we asked them in midweek. Can they find something now? They've saved penalties. They've scored a good goal. Is this the moments for them? There are no Workers players back. It was all Ropes, but they've somehow come away with it. That will do it. It's a big, big 3 points for Blacktown Workers, who at home have finally got their first 3 points of the season in what is already gearing up to be a fantastic race for both the top 5 and top spots. The day ends with Workers and Blake Ford having 2 goals to his name. Some absolutely fantastic work to find him in the process. That first goal was a thing of genuine beauty, and the second goal, well, Blake Ford, if he does get the player of the match, which you'll find out in a couple of days, would be absolutely deserved. Such a hard runner and brilliance. And the round of applause he got as he went off was deserved, absolutely. Ropes for them, well, the reserve grade result might have been fantastic for them, but unfortunately, despite a great showing of fight back and some good moments, just don't look 100% just yet. In saying that, Ben Dale Keith's brilliant performance was something to behold, and both keepers should be very proud of what they've done. The day ends with both Mariong and Tigers at the top of the table. Workers do find themselves moving up to about that mid-spot after their first 3 points. But again, it is so early into the season, we should not look too deeply into it. My name is Mark DePoli. Thank you for being here. I hope you're here on Wednesday night as well when we do a PL2 catch-up game and involves St. Pat's and Polonia. Rudy Hill, forgive me, it will be. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Congratulations to Workers. Commiserations to those from Ropes. And we'll see you in just a couple of days.